Ladies and gentlemen, let us turn to the book of Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 53. Isaiah chapter 53. And we are reading verse 3, verse 4, and verse 5. He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrow, and acquainted with grief, and we hid as it were our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not. Surely he had borne our griefs and carried our sorrows, yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of God, and afflicted. But he was wounded for our transgression. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. This is a solemn message of Jesus Christ. For a while now, I haven't heard anybody speak about the love of God and the pain that he went through. So I am here to remind you of the high price that was paid for you. Just in case you've forgotten what it meant for you to be a Christian, or for you to be brought back from sin. So the subject is Friday, Sunday is coming. It's Friday, Sunday is coming. Oh, what a message. Isaiah tells us that he was wounded and bruised for our iniquities. We pick up the story on the day when Jesus was having his last supper with his disciples. And he announced there that someone here is going to betray me. And shocked, the disciples asked, one by one they asked, who can do such a thing? And so they ask, is it I, Lord? Is it I, Lord? Until they came to Judas Iscariot, a pretender as he was all the time. He also asked the question, is it I, Lord? After that, Jesus washed his disciples' feet. And Peter said, you cannot wash my feet only, you have to wash my whole body. The entire body needs to be washed. And Jesus says, anyone that does not partake of this particular ceremony will not have space with me in the kingdom. And so Jesus washed the feet of his disciples for the last time. This was a solemn moment. So when he came to Judas Iscariot, after washing him, he said to him, whatever you want to do, do it quickly. And I see in my mind's eyes Judas Iscariot leaving the room, banging the door behind him, as he makes his way to those that were going to give him money. That evening, Jesus took his disciples and went to a place called Gethsemane. This is a place that he used to pray. But today things were different because he asked his disciples to stay behind while he moved on to a place where he was alone. There he prayed, and 3 times he prayed a strange prayer. He prayed, Father, if it is your will, let this cup pass away. It's Friday. Sunday is coming. He went back again to see his disciples. They were fast asleep, and so he left them and went to pray again. Same prayer, Father, if it is your will, let this cup pass away. The 3rd time, after I prayed that prayer, I then said, not my will, but your will be done. Your will be done. The Gospel of Jesus Christ. While he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, after the 3rd time, he then went to his disciples and said, let us get up now. Let us go. It's time to go. But as they looked towards the city, they saw a crowd. What a crowd. In the crowd, there were a number of people that were angry with him. Angry with him because of what he had done. There were the Pharisees and the scribes that were angry with him because he had taken away their popularity and he had become the preacher in the land. Doctors were angry with him because whenever he saw a sick person, he healed that person and they became well, and so they didn't need any doctors anymore. Wherever he went, he healed all kinds of sicknesses. Grocery people were angry with him because when the thousands gathered, they expected to make money out of the crowds. But each time he met with the crowds, he fed the thousands. We remember the time when he fed thousands of people with a little boy's lunch. Funeral directors were angry with him. They were angry with him because every time they thought they were going to make money from the dead were brought to Christ and he brought them back to life, and so they were angry with him. Oh, many people were angry with him, and those who had pigs were angry with him because when he saw the demons come and plead to get into the pigs ran into the sea and drowned. Preachers were angry with him. They were angry with him because their little churches were now empty because the preacher of preachers was in the audience. So they were angry with him, and Judas Iscariot was right in front of them, leading them to their captor. And so when he came there, he kissed the master. And the master asked him, Judas, can you betray the Son of God with a kiss? At that moment, the crowds fell to the ground because divinity flashed through humanity. They fell as dead men. Then they got up started to beat him up and spit on him. Some demon-possessed soldiers cleared their mouths and spat on his face. They hit him all the way to the high priest's house. And there they accused him of all kinds of things, but none of those things were true. So the high priest thought it was better for them to send him to Pontius Pilate. Pontius Pilate examined him. He was good at law. Examined him and they said, I find no fault in this man. However, I will send him to Herod the Tetrarch. He sent him to Herod the Tetrarch. Herod was a magician, and so he thought this was his opportunity to see some magic being performed here. But Jesus was not in the mood to perform no miracles or magic. So Herod asked, don't you know that I have power? I have power to release you. And Jesus looked at him and says, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have that power. I have power. And so they sent him back. Herod the Tetrarch sent him back to Pontius Pilate because he couldn't find fault with him. Jesus Christ. This was miscarriage of justice that Pontius Pilate committed here on this day. You do not go around whipping people with a Roman rawhide whip. Innocent people, for that matter. Jesus was innocent. But you whipped him until his back was raw. You could see the inside, the bones, and the flesh was torn. Even his neck was lacerated. Miscarriage of justice. And so they cried, crucify him, crucify him, and let his blood be upon us and upon our children. But as for this man here, crucify him. And that night, ladies and gentlemen, the echoes went to the mountain, and the night fell with those echoes, crucify him. So Pilate watched as this scene unfolded. It's as if demons had taken over, as these people acted like wild pigs and animals, and they came rushing to grab Jesus, and they led him to a place called Golgotha. As they were leading him, they would push him and beat him and push him and beat him. It was Friday. Sunday's coming. So record says, as they go to a place called Golgotha, the most holy place on planet Earth, where the Master was crucified, they lay him there on the cross. And as they lay him on the cross, someone brought rusty nails and drove those rusty nails into his hands and into his feet as blood was squirting out. It's Friday. Sunday's coming. So Pontius Pilate followed the crowds. But he had something in his hand, and as he got to the cross where they were nailing Jesus, he had a piece of paper which he nailed just above Jesus' head. And this was a superscription. Superscription written, Jesus, King of the Jews. It was written in 3 languages. Jesus, King of the Jews in Hebrew. It was written Jesus, King of the Jews in Latin. It was written Jesus, King of the Jews in Greek. It was written Jesus, King of the Jews in every language. Jesus is King. This was prophecy, and yet Pilate didn't even know about it. 3 languages in Hebrew, the language of religion, and in Latin, the language of culture, and in Greek, the language of power. Ladies and gentlemen, Jesus is King. He was born a king, lived a king, and king he shall be when he comes back. You will see him as King of kings and Lord of lords. What a prophecy. But it's Friday. Sunday's coming now. I cannot resist but tell you an allegory that I read just the other day. They say that on that night, on that day, death went to the grave and say, "Grave, if I bring him over to you, will you hold him?" Grave laughed. Ha! Who has ever walked out there was a metal attached to it. And so you use the Roman rawhide whip to whip Jesus. He whipped him. Record says that when you use the Roman rawhide whip, each time you whipped a person, it'll actually tear off his skin. Kept on whipping. Ladies and gentlemen, this was a miscarriage of justice. What a miscarriage of justice. Thought of a plan. At this time in history, they would release one prisoner, and so he thought of a plan and he brought out Barabbas. Barabbas was standing on the left-hand side and Jesus on the right-hand side, and Pontius Pilate asked the question, "Whom shall I release?" Barabbas represented pain. He was a criminal. He did everything that was evil. And yet they chose Barabbas instead of Jesus. Jesus represented life, joy, happiness, and everlasting life. Now they chose Barabbas, and so Pontius Pilate asked, "What shall I do with this Jesus?" So he thought of a plan. He took a Roman rawhide whip. A Roman rawhide whip had 9 strips. And on each end of the strip was a metal attached to it. And so you use the Roman rawhide whip to whip Jesus. He whipped him. Record says that when you use the Roman rawhide whip, each time you whipped a person, it'll actually tear off his skin. Kept on whipping. Ladies and gentlemen, this was a miscarriage of justice. What a miscarriage of justice. To be sharing our work with you, I'm holding here a book from the book of Daniel. This is an explanation of what the book of Daniel is all about. The book of Daniel can be complicated, but with this book, it will make it easy for you to understand even all those animals that are in the book of Daniel. It is only 200 rands. You can buy this for your friends, for yourself as a gift. Another book that we have is the book on marriage, True Love and Marriage. This book covers everything there is to know about a life of a married couple. Everything. It is a wonderful book. It will help you to solve all those conflicts and problems that you find in a married couple. It is also just 200 rands. I recommend that you buy this book. For those that haven't been married yet, prepare for your marriage. Those that are married, this is a wonderful book to ignite that marriage sparks that we did. The last book that we have is called The Art and Science of Greatness. Dare to dream. If you want to change your life as a business person, as a successful person, to become great in yourself, you need this book. This book has done wonders for many business people, for many people that want to get to the top. This book will assist you to find your true self according to the will of God. So get this book. It's also 200 rand. Amen. In order for you to order these books, that's very easy. You can go to our Facebook page and like us there and order any one of these books. Or you can call us anytime on 084 304 1703. 084 304 1703. God bless.